Welcome to Marty and Shane Lifted and Twisted. Stories without borders and joy without limits. This is where hearts meet across cultures and everyday life becomes a story worth telling. I'm Shane.
I'm Marty. Welcome, guys. It's great to be back. So, Shane, what should we talk about today?
So, Marty, you mentioned that something is happening with the sailing community. I really want to know more about that because I I don't sail. I'm afraid of water. And look where you're at right now. Tell me more. Like, how is that affecting you, your business, and everything else?
Okay, so I am on Carpe Vita today. Um, Carpe Vita is a 42-foot Fontaine-Pajot catamaran. She is made in France and not very far from where my daughter currently lives. But my husband and I have been captains since 2007. And we have been out here on the water. We love to go to the Bahamas every season, between January and May. And we live right here in West Palm Beach. And the intercoastal waterway right here between the island of Palm Beach and West Palm Beach is where we currently are. And we do charters from here. And Shane, something really devastating happened on Tuesday with us. It began last month in September. We went to a council meeting in Palm Beach to really understand what was happening with changes that they were doing. And what really took place here is we went to the town hall council meeting and they voted on Tuesday to have an ordinance that says that anybody that is out here, all the mooring balls are going to be cut. So when the mooring balls are cut, what that means for us is our insurance company, because we have insurance for especially when hurricanes come. And when hurricanes come, an anchor alone is not enough. And our insurance company loves the fact that we're on a mooring. Now, you have to understand these moorings are 8-foot screws to the bottom of the ocean with a heavy chain. So it's very, very stable. Well, unfortunately, what's taken place here is they are going to get rid of the moorings. They're not going to allow us to anchor for more than 30 days, which means we can't stay here. So we will lose our business. We will lose a place to be able to keep our Carpe Vita because there aren't enough docks anywhere. And if we can't anchor, we have to leave. So it's made our lives upside down. So I decided, okay, what can I do? So I have written to my governor, Ron DeSantis. I've written to one of my senators, Rick Scott, to my other senator, Ashley Moody, and to the House of Representatives, Lois Frankel. And I have explained the situation to them. And these are going to go in the mail today, certified, so we make sure they get them. And, I don't know what to say. I mean, and there's so many, Shane, there were many of us that spoke, and we have people that just moved down here, bought a home in Palm Beach. They have an 80-foot beautiful carbon fiber boat. I don't know what they're going to do because it's moored out here right now. And technically, we have 30 days to figure out what to do. So, and it's all started because one person who built a home on the island and demanded that these boats be gone. And that's what's sad about it. One person has the ability to turn this whole thing upside down. And I don't think that one person realized how many lives he has really, really affected in a very big way for us. And that person's a famous person. And that's what's really sad, to think that somebody has that ability to just come to town, build a house right on the water. He made a beach and technically he only owns to the water line, but he's trying to control all the water in front of his beach. And So yeah, I'm pretty upset about it because we're not gonna have this life out here as we have for a long time. So that's basically, I don't know if I covered everything that you may want to know, but that's basically what's happening to us. And we do work for what we're one of the vendors for the Breakers and the Four Seasons and the Ben and a lot of the really, five-star hotels that are here in the area. So we love to take people out. We love to entertain them. We love to be able to show them what being on the water is all about in West Palm Beach. And it's a very special city. So it's great to be able to give them the not only what happens on land, but what happens in the water. And because we're in Florida, there's water everywhere. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to share. But that looks like it's maybe going to come, to an end. So yeah, I have to figure out the rest of my life now.
I mean, something I didn't understand was when you guys went to the meeting, you said voting. Did you guys have a chance to vote, or was it you attending the meeting just to hear the results of their vote?
Well, here's what's interesting. The meeting started at 9. Well, technically it started at 9:30. We were there at 9. And the entire agenda is pages long, okay? We were number 42. So we asked them not to vote until we could have a meeting with them to show them how this is going to affect us. They were not interested in that. They wanted to vote. And no, we did not have the ability to vote. It was the council and the mayor who did the voting.
Okay, so that's not fair because they have
I
made the
agree.
decision already, right? And they obviously made this decision without thinking how many lives that they may affect with this decision made. And they're not there to tell you guys, we want to hear your opinion. They're basically there just hosting the meeting to let you guys know that this is the result and you guys figure it out, right?
Well, here's what's to me upside down in government today in many different levels, and that is the people sitting up there to vote are servants of ours, of we the people, okay? Under the Constitution, it's we the people that are in charge. They represent us, but they certainly did not represent us in any way. Now, they could say, well, we're representing our residents. Well, there's a lot of the residents that belong to the Palm Beach Sailing Club that use our services, that are, that come out and do charters with us. So they voted on what they wanted to vote on, and that was probably based upon the money that they were receiving from wherever to really be able, to affect that vote. So it's not right. It really isn't. It's not right. And yes, if there was something that we were doing and they didn't do any water testing or anything like that, they made so many statements that were so not accurate at all. And that is also something that to me, when somebody lies, everything they've said is not any credible. It's not credible anymore because if you can make one lie, you can make lots of lies. And, that's the other thing that's really, it's hard to sit there and listen. But we sat there from 9 o'clock until 6:30, going on 7 at night, waiting for us to hear what this decision was. Okay. And that was the outcome. The outcome was they voted on it and they decided that this ordinance was going to go through. They had the right, okay, it was a state ordinance that the state gives the city the right to enforce or not. But Shane, here's the other thing I didn't share. What they have not enforced, which has been a regulation for many, many, many years, ever since we've been on the water since 2007, I don't know how much before that, but there is a law that states that derelict boats that cannot, any kind of a vessel that cannot move, whether it's because the motor doesn't work or the bottom isn't clean, whatever the reason, every vessel out here should be able to be movable. There's plenty out here that's not. But have they enforced that law? No. No, they haven't. Instead, they're making all of us who have thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars in our boats and take care of our boats. That's who they're focused on. So the whole thing does not make sense. So yeah, we're fighting it, of course. And with all these letters going, and we are going to show up at the next meeting and we are going to speak. But I don't know what's going to happen between now and that meeting. But yeah, it again, for all the listeners, guys, it's time for us to stand up. Okay? It's time for us to be heard. Because if we just sit back and think that somebody else is going to take care of stuff or our government is for us, that's not true. We have to be heard. Otherwise, it's going to go on the way it has. And this is not okay. This is affecting a lot of people. And there were over 20 of us there. Okay. And I hope next month there's 100 of us there because there's a lot of people out here that this is going to affect if they choose to enforce this law.
Yeah, I can absolutely see how much it will affect everyone. It's where you're living, your business. Okay, so they don't care what happens because obviously it's looking like, yeah, I'm going to enforce this law. I don't care if you are able to survive or not, right? But you, as a governor or a government personnel, you work for the people, but you are not protecting us. And I think in a lot of ways that hurts to see that. And if you are doing this because of the money that you are receiving, that's even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's disheartening. It really is. And this is a community out here, Shane, that's so beautiful because everybody takes care of everybody. If there's somebody that has something broken down that is, that's happening, we're out there helping people be able to do whatever it takes for them to get to wherever they need to go. And the Palm Beach Sailing Club may end up closing because of this. There are so many children, especially during the summer months, that come and do sailing classes, and not just children, there are adults too, around, the whole all year round. There's just I mean, this is a sailing community that's going to go away.
I just don't see, well, I mean, okay, greed. Okay, I mean, that's the only word that I can think of right now. They don't care about other people's benefits but their own, right? And
Yeah.
for the sailing club to be gone, you know, I, it really sucks for the children and the adults, want to get into sailing. And
Yes.
we won't have that opportunity anymore, right? And it's just not fair in many, many, many ways. Are you and everyone else writing letters to these governors?
Well, I've reached out to a few people to let them
Yeah.
know. Some of the people I know are. I kind of started the bandwagon, so I'm hoping a lot of people catch on with it and are able to do it. Um, but it is maybe they think we're just going to back off and say nothing and let it happen, but that's not going to happen. We're going to fight till the very end. So we're never going to give up on it, but it is something that at this moment, if it doesn't get changed, then we have to figure out what we're doing.
Can we all write the letters to the
Yes,
governors? Um,
yes,
let's post the information to the governors. And for all of you out there who's actually listening right now, let's help the sailing community and let's not let these people lose where they live, their boats and things like that, right? Let's help each other. Let's continue to love and help each other. And let's be persistent. And everyone write letters or emails to these governors to let them know that we're hurting, and whatever you guys have decided is hurting the sailing community.
Well, and Shane, let me say this. This is going to affect all of Florida. It could even be more than just Florida. I don't know. But if this is allowed to happen here, it's going to be allowed to happen a lot of places. And just to make this clear, we are not protecting the derelict boats. We want those derelict boats to be dealt with. That regulation was put in place a long time ago. Okay. And that needs to be enforced because they're dangerous, especially when there's weather happening. If there's a hurricane happening, those boats are dangerous for our boats because they hit our boats. They also hit the docks of all these private property people right here on both sides, West Palm Beach and Palm Beach. So there's nothing good about those boats, and they should not be here. And if they took all those derelict boats out of here, it would be amazing. And that's already a regulation. Why did they have to come up with another regulation, you know? And they haven't really, enforced the regulation that was already in place that would have taken care of what needs to really happen. We're out here living a beautiful life, sharing it with people, and it's our livelihood. So this is, and we're part of Visit Palm Beach. So those of you that, are not from this area and want to come and visit, as long as we're still here in business, visitpalmbeach.com has a beautiful site to be able to go to and find a lot of these boats. And I don't know what they're going to do because they're out here on the water too. So it's going to be interesting how it's affecting everyone.
Yeah, because
But
it
I
just
would
sounds like,
appreciate, yeah,
yeah, it sounds like it's even a bigger job to have to take those boats away, right? You know, you have to, I don't know if they have to find the owners or whatnot, and then they have to get it out of the water and, tow it, whatever it is. So maybe this is just the easy way out for them. So that's why they're enforcing a new rule.
exactly. That's
And
exactly it.
I'm so smart.
Yeah. Yes, you are. That's exactly it. They don't want to take the money to do that. And that is what needs to happen. And yes, it's going to take a lot of effort because they have to go find out who owns the boats. And most of these people, what happens, unfortunately, is people will say, "Oh, here's a hurricane boat." They get it for next to nothing. They go throw an anchor in, and then they say, "Okay, I'm going to fix it and sell it." But then they never do. I mean, that's, part of owning a boat is just one little first step. There are lots of boats on a lot of different docks and marinas that never ever get moved because people want a boat. They want to own a boat. They get a boat, but then, a boat likes to have you here. It likes to be used and moved. And if you're, sometimes people's lives are not really, able to allow them to do that because of their choices they're making. But I guarantee you, if you get on the water, it's a beautiful place to let go of stress. It's a beautiful place to be able to find peace. And I highly recommend it to people. And it's really interesting because today my daughter was going from Scotland to France back to her research center, and she was on the ferry from Plymouth to Roscoff. And she said, "Mom, I'm in heaven. It's amazing. I wish it would take me 3 days to get there instead of 5.5 hours," because she loved it so much. But yeah, getting on the water is a good thing for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, Marty would send me videos that, either she goes to the beach. Surprisingly, she always sends me those videos when I feel so stressful. And just
Oh,
watching the video, it really brightens up my day because I'm not close to water. I don't know how to swim. That's why I'm scared of water. But other than that, it's just watching the video. It created so much peace in my mind. That's for me. And yeah, I do encourage everyone to be more on water. I'm gonna learn how to
well,
swim soon.
you know what, Shane? Since you said that, I have to share something with you because I worked at Hippocrates for 10 years and I remember a woman who was Chinese. Her name was Jane, and she was awesome. And one of the things that she talked about when she was on campus, because people would come there to heal from all different kinds of diseases, and she said she had two things that she wanted to overcome while she was on campus. One was she was scared to death of dogs, and I had a little Maltese, and she ended up, before she left campus, my little Tallulah would sit on her lap while I was doing her hair. So she overcame that. And the second one was being afraid of water. So she would she was afraid to even step into the swimming pool or the mineral pool or the cold plunge. She just couldn't do it. And she learned how to swim when she was there. So she overcame water and she overcame her fear of dogs. And she said that that alone was so healing for her. So, I have to tell you this though. Someday you're going to come to Carpe Vita wherever we are, and you don't have to swim to be on a boat, believe it or not. And we also have floats that you can float in the water, so you wouldn't ever have to swim. However, and we also have life vests, of course. So, but I understand if you're afraid of the water, then, being on a boat would be a little bit, scarier than being on land. But I can tell you that it's also healing to overcome that fear.
Yes, absolutely. I can see how it had healed Jane, right? And
Yeah.
that's something that I think I worked a long time trying to get over. And funny thing is, Mike would say, "How do you take a shower if you, how do you take a bath if you're afraid of water?"
That's cute.
So yes, I really, really want to conquer that fear, um, one day.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, guys. So remember, wherever you are, your story is really important because we're here for you and we want to hear your story. And I know that each one of our stories can help each other. So, and we are here to change the world. And we have to start in our right there in our local hometown. So come on board and share your stories with us. And we also want you to know that we want you to have unlimitless joy. Okay. So make today really a joyful day for you and come and share your stories with us. We'd love to hear from you. Okay. Bye, guys.